Okay, so we started this little section of this video with those oval air cleaners. So I have 30 of them over there, and then I go today and look what I found. Yet another one. And this one actually has got a couple different plates in it. They're original. They used to be kind of rare. The last bucket of stuff I went to Missouri and got from Charlie Fagan, I got all of those. So they ran those on Sportsters, but they also ran them on the FX. So there's another one of those if you need it. Air filters junk. We got, is that real? Yeah, S&S backing plate. What do we got here? Oh, that's a Harley, so that's a Kean. So that's a stock Harley with the intake. That's a cool little carburetor. We got a backing plate for the old school. So this is probably a J-slot knockoff. I'm not sure yet. We got headlights and buckets. Ring for that headlight. Another cool chopper air filter. Another S&S backing plate. Another S&S teardrop, a real one. A RevTech 100. Boy, that, I don't know. I'm not a RevTech guy. Somebody might want that. Personally, I think they're boat anchors, but whatever. Another S&S. So these backing plates with these are actually for either Sportster or Evo. Those go up to your breather bolts, but you can run them on anything. Your pattern here and your pattern here are the same. So it's good to have some extra backing plates. People are looking for those. There's a license plate bracket. Huh, I don't know what kind of air cleaner cover, something that's kind of cool. So this is an S&S that somebody's welded and modified and done some funky stuff to. So they've done this to run this to a Mikuni style carburetor, or maybe even like a Linkard or something that has the rubber O-ring with the hose clamp. So they've made this bracket, put this spacer, which I've never understood to go through all that work to put an S&S cover. I would just put an S&S carb or stick with the stock cover. These are kind of cool. These were all the rage in the 80s, air cleaners, kind of different. We got a couple brake lines. Doesn't look like they've ever been used. Check that out. So that's a horn. Okay, so it's a repop, so it's probably a 12 volt. This would go on the front of a Servi-Car or a knuckle front end. So this actually would bolt up in here. So that would be that horn. I have a stock 6-volt horn for this machine, but that might be the horn for the knuckle. I wasn't going to run one, but it would fit, and I do have the mounting hardware for it, so kind of cool. Treasures are treasures, man. So that's one box down, several to go. We're going to just slide stuff around and keep going through some of this stuff. So that we know is trash. That we know is trash. So we got an Evo pipe that's been cut off. Somebody might need it. We got a couple down tubes. So this looks like a set. It is. So that's a single disc set. No. They're a little different up here. So I've got to figure it out. I got so many down tubes when I bought this. I'll have to figure what fits what. We've got one Shovelhead strut, and I know there's another around here. Got a heat shield for something. We got another chain guard. I got a couple up there. So that puts me at 5 or 6 of those if you guys are looking for an FX style chain guard. And I think, yeah, that's FX. The Sporty is actually identical. It's just reversed because your chain is on the opposite side. I think I got a couple Sporty ones too. There's the carcass of a floorboard. And you know, structurally it's okay. This will clean up and you can get new rubbers. So you never know. That might come in handy. There's a kickstand, which is cool. Always got lots of kickstands, but you need them. This is cool. This is your clutch arm, and this is for a panhead. So this is panhead or knucklehead. So that's old school clutch arm. Very cool. So this box got a brake pad. That's newer stuff. We've got O-rings, OEM O-rings. What are these for? Slider tube, 77 and up. We've got a spring for something. I don't even think it's Harley. So these look like gaskets and seals, pistons. There's a 5-speed cover there. So this box will all have to be gone through. This is all new old stock. We've got crankcase breather screens. 2 of those brand new. In fact, those I'm going to leave up here. I might need one of those. Different gaskets here. So those are 45 flathead gaskets. So those are head gaskets for a Servi-Car or a 45 cubic inch. We got O-rings for something else. I mean, so this whole thing, there is what kind of, so these are dash light and speedo light. So these are your lights inside your Shovelhead dash. Brand new, custom chrome. There's some valve guides. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. Corks for something. Oops, gaskets dripping out of here. Wow, there's a Sifton breather gear kit. So that's a complete breather gear. So that's 78 through 85 big twin. It's the whole gear with the breather in it. That's some nice stuff in this box. Might not look like much to some people, but old gearheads like me, stuff like this is exciting. I have to look up the parts. It's cool that these are in good enough shape that I can trace the parts. So that looks like 5-speed. Yeah, 5-speed transmission top gaskets. There's 10 of them. They're viable. They're not all crunchy and hard. Front end seal forks. So that's your fork tube seals. I didn't think there was much in this box, but there's a lot of treasures in this box. We got here. So that's a shock absorber tool to raise shocks on bikes that have shocks. There's a replacement rubber for a touring guide, tour guide or electric glide rear foot peg. In fact, now that I have a geezer glide, I might need that. Got a couple of those springs. I don't know what they're for. I don't think they're bike related. Oh, would you looky there. So that is old school, and it is Harley-Davidson in the package. Looky there, there's a set. So if you pan over to the Servi-Car and look at the flipboard on it, you can see that it ain't got no rubber on there. Well, these are the pair. And this is very interesting. So these are V-twin manufacturing part numbers, but on the front, they're genuine Harley parts. So these were bought out by V-twin. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of the V-twin stuff you bought is from the manufacturer. I've gotten stuff from Colony. In fact, a lot of the bolts I get through V-twin are actually Colony sets. These are Harley-Davidson sets. So you just never know what you're going to get. V-twin, I don't knock them, man. I like, Ted has always done me proud with V-twin. And yeah, some of their parts need some massaging, but when you can't find it anywhere else, you let me know. I probably have it. And it probably says V-twin. And it'll get you home. O-ring manifolds. A lot of this I'm just going to have to keep digging through, but clutch release cover. So that's your other side of your 5-speed transmission. Some more rings. Wow. This box just keeps on giving. Slider bushing. So that's the fork bushings, brand new. Fork leg bushing. Oh, fork leg seals. Wow. Cool stuff, guys. There's your rubber boots for the top of your forks. More flathead gaskets. In fact, that's a whole gasket kit. So that's got your lower cylinder gaskets and your head gaskets. And those are genuine, James. Those are good gaskets. More seals. Wow. New old stock. What do we got here? Oh, okay. So that's a clamp-on mirror. So you can clamp that onto your handlebar and put your mirror anywhere you want. I had to get similar of those for Softail Sally when I built her. Carb rebuild kit. Boy, I don't recognize it. I'm going to have to look and see. It's got a part number on it. I have to see what carb that's for. More valve guides. You know, stuff in the package is gold. It really is. Oh, your inspection cover. Okay, so these are your, on your Panhead and your older bikes, you have that on your clutch primary. 10-pack of those unopened. What do we got here? Clutch push rod, still in the package. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one I need for the knuckle. Oh no, this is newer. Big twin 1990 to present. Well, what is present? I'm sure it's not 2023, but it's starting 1990, so this is early Evo or mid Evo. New in package. Valve guides, more dash lights. So those snap into your dash, your idiot lights for your generator light, your oil light and stuff. New old stock. I mean, new old stock. That's your primary cover adjuster on a Shovelhead. Sets of rings, 4-inch standard stroke. Wow, S&S rings. Transmission top. Oh, like the other 10-pack wasn't enough. There's 10 more. Any of you guys doing 5-speed stuff, you need transmission gaskets, let me know. I got 150 of them, it looks like. Hey, those are handy. So that's your little claw that goes down in the transmission where your clutch arm goes. Those are notorious for braking. There's a brand new one in the pack. Another brand new in the pack. What do we got here? Worm drive for the clutch release on a Sportster, 54 through 70. So, I mean, hit me up, guys. If any of that stuff's making you happy, let me know. All right, so let's move on. We still got a few boxes to look at. I don't know if we'll get through all of them. Most of this stuff I don't even think is bike related. So I know that's not. That's an instrument panel. That's a 4-barrel carburetor for a car. It's funny, when I bought the Knucklehead, I had a couple boxes like this that I thought were junk. And once I went through them, they were all rusted and corroded. But once I went through them, I found all my oil pump body housing pieces, all my oil pump gears, all kinds of stuff. So I just go through it and find what I need to find. These are the pushrod tubes for that Shovelhead motor that we bought today. There's a brand new clutch assembly for just about any, or not clutch, choke, excuse me, choke assembly. Exhaust gaskets. I was just talking about oil pumps. Check it out. There's part of an oil pump body right there in this box of assorted stuff. So where's my box here? So that's trailer, utility trailer stuff. That's car exhaust stuff, gauge, who knows. So this guy's a body man, but he also built some cool hot rods and cars. So that's a fork mount that you can mount all kinds of different stuff to it. We got a cam here that actually looks to be in reasonable shape. So it's an Andrews. So there's Andrews B cam. So that's a good cam and it looks runnable. We'll have to spec it out and make sure, but that's nothing wrong with that cam. Andrews B grind. There's another choke lever. So these are really long. These are automotive for something, but a guy could retrofit those real easy into a choke lever. So stuff like this, you never know. So these are old gas caps, and those are stamped from the factory. That could be a treasure that we don't even realize. We got some old Heim joints from something. There's a electronic ignition module. So that's a Dyna. Spark plug wires. So I'll go through all this. Exhaust clamps, valve springs, probably auto related, shock cover bolts. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's the bottom half of a riser. So I think about half of this is bike stuff. There is that the same? Yeah, so there's 2 oil pump housing covers. There's another riser. All these different flanges. Huh, that's a cool piece. I don't know what we'll do with it. Okay, guys, so we're about done with this box. I'm going to go through this again. There's a petcock. There's a set of risers. There's a bearing race like we were installing in the Knuckle last week. Probably the other one's in here. So we got to go through that. Still reeling from the box of new old stock stuff in the envelopes over there. It's kind of cool. It wasn't 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was doing something on a ratchet top, and I went to my buddy Larry's Custom Cycles. He's a legend in these parts. I went and got my rotary top and my kicker gasket. And sure enough, I came home and opened one of these boxes that I had got from one of the garages I've bought out, and I found a whole packet full of them. So it'd be nice to go through all that new old stock stuff that's in the packages. I need to dedicate some pegboard maybe to all the gasket seals, all that stuff that I've got, because nothing bugs me worse than getting back from Larry's shop and spending top dollar for a gasket and a seal and then finding 3 of them that are brand new. But live and learn, you know. I did just get my V-Twin license, dealer license. So there is that UL? I think that's UL. Yeah, 45 restoration. So there's a whole lower end 45. So it's got all your gaskets, O-ring, seals to build the lower end of a 45. Huh. The battery gauge. I don't know what these are off of. They're newer. I'm not saying new stuff's not worth anything. It's just not my cup of tea. Automotive parts. Okay, so we're going to leave that put together. I don't think I need it, but it is just kind of a standard lock set. It could be retrofit into a saddlebag or something, or who knows, somebody might have an old Plymouth they need a trunk lock for. Valve stems. So I don't know what these are. They look like the Evo flanges to hold the Evo exhaust on there. If so, there's about 3 guys' lifetime supply of them there. And I've got more of them. Well, these are only half-sided. So I'm not sure. I think those are Evo, but we'll have to do some research. And then you have these other ones that are thicker that are beveled. So I know those are Evo. How we got all those Evo exhaust clamps, I don't know. 45 gaskets. Again, there's the good copper ones. Stuff for days, man. There's my other neck cup. And then let's see what we got in here. If I'm not mistaken, this is a lower end for a 45. So that's all your cam chest gears for a 45. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That is a spacer for a 5-star or a star hub wheel. Yeah, so this is all your 45 inside your cam chest. Here's 4 of the 5. Hold your brake master cylinder assembly bolts, not master cylinder, your drum brake assembly in place. No idea what that is. Okay, 4-barrel carburetor, not my gig. Oh, there's a blinker lens, smoke instead of orange. Of course, one. What am I going to do with one? Sell it to somebody who needs it. All right, so right there we got a transmission plate. We've got a ring gear. Don't know what that spacer's for. Those are little rivets for something. We got a primary chain, probably shovel. Again, we got another box full of factory parts. So this is piston rings. This is, oh, choke bracket. So your choke bracket for Mikuni carb. Some more kicker side gaskets for 5-speed. Slider tube gaskets. Wow. Again, tappet O-ring guides. More dash deals, more rings. These are big twin cylinders. Cylinder gasket. Got the numbers. I'll have to check the numbers on them. More gaskets, camshaft gaskets, seals. Nice set of blinkers. Another foot pedal. Just stuff for days, man. Stuff for days. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, so this is half of the assembly that does it fits on your Springer front end, and it's part of the guide, or not guide. It's a suspension tightening system, so it helps tighten your front end from them springers from bouncing around. So that's a cool thing. So here's a knockoff plate for the back of a primary if you're not running a starter on a Shovelhead. I don't know what that is. Oh, clutch rod, 1980 to 84. Okay. So center clutch rod, push rod. Again, there's a handful of gaskets, all different flavors, all different stuff. The new old stock stuff is fun, man. More breather gaskets or breather screens, more gaskets, more gaskets. I don't know what those rubbers are for. Oh, you know what those are for? Those are your rubbers for the old pedal style Kickstarter. So that would be one on either side. So that's the new rubbers for a kickstart. Old Panhead style kickstart. Air cleaner support for S&S. For the S&S, that's the support brackets for those. Another set of Heim joints for something. Wow. So that's 2 boxes of just pure gold with all this gasket stuff. All right, moving on. Okay, so we got an old shovel style dash. This is cool. I don't know. I'm not a car guy, but I think that's from a Mercury. That's a hood ornament from like a Mercury or a Packard or something. You guys tell me, and tell me if you want it. It's a cool piece. I will never use it, but I won't throw it either. Here's the other blinker from that other set. Headlight visor. Really tricked light from something. So if you look, this is a Guide light. So Guide was a company that did a lot of Harley's lights. And I don't think this is bike related, but that's from something. I'm going to have to look that up. That's a cool light. This is a cylinder hone. Actually, the stones look viable. For whatever reason, this is out of its place. So I'll have to pull this all apart and see what's up. But I bet you that's a usable cylinder hone. New old stock, brake lights. A little beat up, but I can straighten that. So that's your bottom fender trim. So see where the one says FLT? This is older than FLT. This would be Shovelhead. Goes on the bottom back of your front fender. I don't know what that's for. Let's open it. I'm trying not to open a lot of this stuff, but I'm going to open that. I think that's car related. Maybe trunk panel, something. We'll see. Different brackets, different this. Yeah, a lot of this is car stuff. And then you find an old bike throttle cable, pulleys. Yeah, timing chain. So we'll go through this a little finer another time, but car stuff, not my gig. All right, so we got Couple of kicker pedals. That one's toast. This one's old school real. It's Harley. That's not aftermarket. I'll probably soak that in some WD or something and see if I can get it to maintain its life. Got another one there that's Harley. The repops are readily available, but it's kind of nice to have the true old school ones. Well, there's a big old torpedo light. Chopper stuff, I don't know. I don't care for it, but